doing, guys? This is the first hardware look at that I've done for a long time. I know I don't usually do pick-up videos, but anyway, I'm going to do one. I did mention in my Monday mumble that I was getting a little piece of hardware, and it's now arrived. So the thing in question is this thing. Now I know Steve Benway actually featured his recently. It's, I don't know what was the name of the joystick. It wasn't a quick shot joystick. Can't remember exactly what it was called. So basically it's a joystick. It's got two fire buttons, and along the back it has got, or the front, whatever you want to call it, it's got a reset button, and it's got four buttons, A, B, C and D. Now what makes this quite unique is it's actually got a built-in Commodore 64. It's got something like 20 games. So yep, I actually bought one of these back in the day, and I stupidly gave it away to a friend for absolutely nothing. That was before I kind of collected retro machines. So I was looking on eBay, and they go for about 15-20 quid. And as luck would have it, I actually posted on a forum asking if anybody had one they wanted to sell. And as luck would have it, one of my mates, Gordon, had one in a cupboard. So he gave it to me last night, so absolutely delighted with it. So I've not tried it yet, so let's plug this bad boy in and see what it's about. Okay, here we go, let's fire this baby up. On! Here we go, the familiar Commodore logo. 2004, blah 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 blah. Commodore 64, okay, up there we go, the familiar loading screen. Let's move that touch. Right, okay. Now I do remember when I had this back in the day, it was a slight swizz when they said there's 20 games or 30 games or whatever it is, because what you'll actually notice here is some of these games are actually just events from some of the Apex sports games, like bull riding was that, not in World Games I think it was, and there's a few other ones. But anyway, let's just have a quick flick through them. Yep, that's... Now I could never do this. I could never actually do this back in the time. You know what, I'm going to skip this one because I was never a big fan of this particular event. Didn't have a clue what I was supposed to be doing. Now I noticed the graphics have got a slight, almost, what's one, you know, you get these filter things that you can put in emulators to kind of smooth the graphics out. It's kind of it's got that kind of slight blurriness to it. I don't know whether it's just because it's a bad connection, don't know, but I mean it looks alright. So how do we do this? Reset. Skip that. Ah, right, okay, if you hold down one of the buttons, it speeds it up. Right, Championship Wrestling. I remember that at the time. Never actually had it, I don't think. Choose your wrestler. Alright, okay. Alright, okay, so it's a slight... it's kind of done away with the sort of menus and that kind of stuff, and going to a more basic option thing. I haven't a clue what I'm doing here. I'm guessing that I'm Hulk Hogan. The one thing that kind of appeals to me about this, apparently you can actually hack some of these. I think some of was it the earlier ones that came out, you could hack them. I haven't a clue what I'm doing here, so I'm going to come out. Yeah, apparently you could actually hack them. I think you could maybe put other games on it, so that'll be interesting to see if I can manage that. Cyberdean Warrior. Name rings a bell. Can't remember the game at all. Houston. Alright, okay. Don't remember playing this. So I do remember it at the time. I must admit the joystick's not bad. Quite a nice feel to it. Let's move on. Oh bollocks. Let's try that again. Yeah, it's a nice little novelty. Oh, what am I doing? I'm pressing reset. It's a nice little sort of novelty piece of hardware. Cybernoid, I remember that one. Now it's saying start game 1, so I'm guessing is that. Ah right, you just press the fire button. So I'm guessing these have obviously been adapted. It's been they've been adapted to work with this particular interface. Yeah, I mean the graphics look just like a Commodore 64 should. The sound certainly sounds very SID-like, so it's I mean I'm not quite sure of what's inside it. Has it got the actual, the Commodore chip? I'm really not too sure. Ah, balls. Damn it. It certainly looks nice, it certainly looks the part. Ah, come on! I'm bloody woeful, aren't I? Absolutely woeful. Right, let's look at the second one. Was it Cybernoid 2? I think it was. Yep, number 2. So yeah, there's certainly some decent games. I mean, I suppose, you know, I mean, you could probably pick up a Commodore 64 cheaper than you'd get one of these brand new. But then I suppose you'd have to get some way loading games. So I mean, I don't know. I'd certainly prefer to have a Commodore 64 than this sort of thing, you know. But for somebody who maybe only wants to own one or two of the games, it's probably quite a cheap kind of way to. Bloody hell. The joystick's quite sensitive, I must admit. That's my excuse. Right, I'm going to keep playing this until I get past this bit. I'm going to move that a wee bit, get it a bit more central. There we go. This time. Oh. Ah, come on. I don't think you can kill these things. Can you? Hey, yeah, beauty. Ah, so I can now fire behind me. Anyway, let's see what else there is. That plays really nice. Actually quite a nice game as well. Eliminator, now I think I know what this is. It's a kind of grid, a track that you race along. I think. Yep. But you kind of shoot things, do you? Yeah, you do. It kind of looks a bit like, what's the name of that? Trailblazer. Trailblazer was a great game. Right, okay, enough of that one. I haven't a clue what I'm meant to be doing. Exelon. I think that's similar to. See, these are all Houston games. Ah, I'm talking rubbish. Well, it is a Houston game, but what happened to her? Why am I dying? Take that. Oops. How do you get through this? Ah, okay, I destroy it then. I can remember seeing this game. I don't think I actually had it. Quite nice though. Alright, okay, so you just need to keep blowing things up. Yeah, this sounds absolutely spot on. Right, next. Championship Wrestling we've looked at. What's going on here? Oh, wait. Hang on a second. Oh, hang on. What's going on here? Wait a minute. Something is afoot. How do I get on the next page? Right, so I've got that. Ah, right, it's just going down in there. Excuse my ignorance, I was thinking it's going to flick a complete new page. It's not, it's actually just going down per game. Firelord, that's another Houston game, I think. Yep. It's very much like Robin o' the Wood meets Attic Attack meets whatever it is. Ocean Games. Yeah. Haven't a clue what I'm doing. Pick up, come out. Where's the fire button? I want to kill something. That's better. Whoops, don't walk into fire. Right, anyway, that plays rather nicely. So yeah, I mean the emulation is absolutely spot on. Or I'm guessing it's not an emulator, I'm guessing it is actually playing proper C64 hardware. It's pretty mental when you think you can cram a C64 into something such a small size. Flying disc, that's another one of these bloody events from World Games, we won't bother looking at that. Gateway to Apsai. Oh goodness me, I had actually owned Temple of Apsai. It's an adventure game, a really early adventure. Quite unusual to have a game like this on such a kind of basic thing, considering there's no keys. How does one start? Excellent stuff. See, I used to quite like games like this, really basic, but you know what, actually this was the very early days of RPGs. None of your bloody Zeldas. This is what we had to contend with, guys. It's a killer dog. You have been slain. Right, okay, that's got an unusual one to have in this. What would make this an absolute killer piece of hardware would be if they stuck 20 of the must-have games in it, because I mean there's a lot of them here that I'm like not got any time for. Now there's one there right away, Impossible Mission. Forever! Hard as nails, absolutely shite at it, but it's a brilliant game. It was silly. The animation in this game was just incredible. Still is amazing. Ah, balls. Anyway, that's a good game. That's an excellent game. Right, let's just look for any other choice games. Impossible Mission 2. Jumpman Jr. is a great game. There you go. Paradroid. Enough said. Absolutely fantastic game. I've just noticed I've got for some strange reason, this digital camera, you get an overheating sign, which is a bit worrying. I wouldn't think a camera should overheat, but I notice the heat that gets generated in this camera, it gets quite excessive. So yeah, let's try and bring this video to a close before it actually overheats properly. So yeah, we've got Paradroid. What else? Just quickly run down the list. Firelord Flying Disc, Postal Mission 1 and 2. Jumpman Jr. is a great game made by Epix. It's one of the really early platformers. Pit Stop again, it's a great game. Well, Pit Stop 2 is a fantastic game. Obviously the sequel to the first one. Ranarama is an excellent game again. So yep, Silicon Warrior, not familiar with that one. Epix. Don't remember this one. Right, okay, that's a Silicon Warrior. Certainly a mixed bag. I mean, well, I wouldn't say there's any new games as such, some really good games, and some old kind of crustier ones. Flying Disc, Postal Mission, Pit Stop 1 and 2, Ranarama, Speedball. Now summer games, if that's the full thing, then that's excellent. If this has got the full all the events. You can't seem to skip this. I'm sure you could in the original. Now wait a minute, how the hell do you put... Right, okay. Right, fair enough. Right, that's fine, okay, how do we... How do we get past? I don't want to put any other names. Yes. Oh, there we go. Excellent. Well, you know what? That makes it worth the money, as far as I'm concerned. You've got the two Cybernoids, you've got Paradroid, you've got the two Impossible Missions, you've got Pit Stop 2, and you've got Summer Games. Fantastic. I'm sure this is better than the one I had before, actually. Right, quickly, this camera is going to end up switching off, so very quickly. So Super Cycle was a great game. Sumo is just an event out of world games, as is surfing. Never heard of Sword of Fargold. Tower Toppler, Uridium, fantastic. Oh, Winter Games as well, wow. World Karate and Zynaps. Well, you know what guys, there's about 10 cracking games. So that's an absolutely excellent. I can certainly recommend one of these guys. As you can see there, the emulation is absolutely spot on. It's a nice little thing. If you can pick up one for about £10–15, then go and grab one. So anyway guys, this is, I don't know actually what it's, I don't know what it's called. It's the Commodore 64 joystick thing. As usual guys, thanks for watching.